And it's the coach and the AD. It's Saturday morning live from Coach's Corner, home of the center of the sports universe. It's Karl DeMasi Sports Report every Saturday right here on the internets. Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live. Just go to one of those social media sources, Karl DeMasi Sports Report, Coach's Corner. You'll find the coach and the AD right here. The AD's having a little fun up there in the ATL. First, you got to go to Macon last night. First of all, congratulations. You got more on your plate next Friday night, buddy.
Yeah, it was a great night. It was a tough night offensively for both teams to throw the ball. It got – once that cold front came through, it got really cold, and the wind was gusting about 25 miles an hour directly across the field. So you're watching quarterbacks try to throw the ball – down the field, and it's just the wind's just taking it and carrying it, and then passes in the flats. It was wet. The field was soaked because it was a downpour, torrential downpour from basically 5:15 until about 6:45. The field was wet, but a lot of water was running off. But great defensive night there for the Cavs, and a huge night for senior Greg Daniel. Towed the ball 31 times for 257 yards and a touchdown. And he was just as ferocious on defense. We were talking last night. I'd never seen Greg be so fired up as a quiet, reserved kid as he was playing defense last night, playing linebacker for us. So great night. George Walton was able to knock off Christian Heritage in a tight game. And so we'll get to host next Friday night. So it'll be a busy week at Special Sports Complex with girls flag football on Wednesday, and once again, Friday night. So we're glad to be home and not traveling to Dalton.
Well, we're going to get to that in a couple of minutes. Just so you know, we got 3 teams going on. There were 5 that entered last night, so we'll get to that in a couple of seconds. Up second on our show today, he's going to be tackling local sports with us. He sends us videos with Amy Zimmer every Friday night. We get to show you some highlights. We'll have the big guy, Frank Sulkowski, at 9:15. Then we'll go to our Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week. We'll go right around the block, right here in Thunderbolt, Georgia, at South C. Johnson High School. Yep, we got one of the best boys, hoopers, here in the city. He's a senior finally. Seems like he's been there forever. And that's Emondre Bowles from South C. Johnson High School. And then we're going to bring back at 9:50 the girl, the legend. It used to be the coach in Maikos. Now it's the coach in the AD. But Melissa Maikos coming on and talking about females in sports. If you don't know about Melissa, she was a sportscaster at WTOC for, I think, 6-7 years. Then decided she had a calling to be a teacher. She was here for a long time. Her hubby or her significant other, Markel Blunt, got a job up in Atlanta, so they took everything and went up to Atlanta. Her sister lives there, too, so she'll be on at about 9:50. So, once again, we had a lot of scores last night. Here's your scoreboard, okay, in Class A private. Savannah Christian takes care of St. Anne Pacelli. Okay, it hurts my heart, the little Catholic school up there in Atlanta, but you know what? Savannah Christian, near and dear to my heart, beat St. Anne's last night, 37-24. Great article on the PrepSportsReport.com website. Travis Jadon from the Hot Grits podcast, the other, or one of the 3 shows on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, covered the game last night. Check it out. Great article. He really did a good job. All right. Then we travel up to Macon. Calvary against First Presbyterian Day School. First time they played, Calvary blew them off the field, but they were missing a lot of guys. Coach Griffin here, the AD Griffin, said Wednesday night it'll be a tough game, and it was. They come out 14-7. They were predicted to win by 4 points. They won by 7. Maxwell projections, okay? So they'll be home because George Walton, okay, knocked off who? Christian Heritage?
Christian Heritage out of Dalton, Georgia. Yep.
Okay. So another thing on his plate. All right, we go to 4A. Benedictine started out slow, got down 17-3, came back and whooped Cairo, Georgia. Cairo High School, the Syrup Makers, 45-23. They'll host Riverdale over at Memorial Stadium. And then Bainbridge, Islands High School had to make that trek out all the way out to Bainbridge, Georgia, only 30 minutes north of Tallahassee. Tough one, 43-0. First half, Islands couldn't get anything going on offense. I give Coach Printup and a lot of those boys a lot of credit for what they did. First playoff win in school history, first second-round game in school history. So, and then in 5A, the Wildcats couldn't do it up there in Westlake. The Lions beat Richmond Hill 55-7. Chad, you would have loved me last night. I know you were freezing out there, but it was worth it out making. But I had 4 laptops hooked up. I had BC, I had Savannah Christian, I had Islands, and what other game am I missing? I had 4 out of the 5. I didn't have you because I couldn't find you on the internet. Who was the other game? Savannah Christian, BC. Oh, Islands, my own school.
Islands. Yeah.
It was crazy. The internet connection on some of them weren't that good. There was a lot of delay, but you know what? It was great watching all 4 games. So that's what we're going to do right now. I know the AD. I got an old mental fart here. I forgot to send him the stuff. I thought he was coming in, and I forgot that he had a football tournament up there with his son in Atlanta. So I'll be doing the highlights. He'll be chipping in when we're done. Let's stay right here in Savannah, Georgia. We're going to go to Cairo here in Savannah at Memorial Stadium taking on Bainbridge. Now, it's in 2 parts, so I'm going to try and keep up with it because I can only put a minute at a time here on my platform. So let's go to part 1. After only 6 days off, the Benedictine Cadets take the field at Memorial Stadium. It gets no strangers to the state playoffs. They got things going on here. But once again, the visiting Syrup Makers get on scoreboard first. They go up 7-0. Then their all-world kicker, Noah Jones from Georgia, hits a 52-yard field goal. Benedictine comes back. They're down 10-0. And their own kicker, Nicholas Dillon, hits one. It's 10-3. However, BC found themselves trailing 17-3. Right there, LaShawn Brooks gets the pigskin. He takes it to the right, cuts back to the left. He's in the zone. It's 17-10, Cairo. How do you like that? Okay, we got to go with a defensive tackle. The big hog, defensive lineman, Bryce Paskey taking it off. That's the game changer, Chad. 17-7. Here's highlight number 2. I'm trying to keep up with it. Okay, there's another pick. This time it's Justin Thomas, the kid that's going to Georgia and play baseball. Great pick right there. Sets it up. Okay, more from the defense. We saw that now. Holden Gurner calls his own number, takes it in. It's 24-17. BC never looked back. Exciting night over there at Memorial Stadium. All right, they'll be home next Friday night against Riverdale. Okay, they waited 29 days to get into the playoffs. And here we go. The Syrup Makers try to make it close. They take it to the house, but you know what? It was all BC from here on out. 45-23, the final. The Syrup Makers go home back to Cairo, Georgia. And I'm telling you right now, just some stats for you, Chad, from that game. Gurner was 16 for 26, okay, for 269s. In the second half, he was 9 for 11 for 181 yards. Broadnick, 7 catches for 143 yards for 2 TDs. Justin Thomas carried the rock for 67 yards, had 4 receptions for a touchdown. And, of course, the big hog, okay, Bryce Paskey picking it off. That turned the game right there. All right. The key was the running back for Cairo, Solomon, in the first half had 132 yards. In the second half, Chad, I guess Danny Britt did his defensive wizardry at halftime. Only 2 yards for that young man.
Yeah, we were broadcasting our game via Facebook Live, and so
I thought it was Twitter Live.
Well, we got there.
I know. Come on, tell me, Coach. You're getting old, Coach. You're getting.
So we got going, and we were able to broadcast it Facebook Live. We were having some issues with our Twitter page, but Facebook got it going, which connected all the Calvary intervals. But we had kind of same with you. We had multiple laptops set up, watching multiple games, and it seemed like the depth of BC, especially offensively in the second half, just put that game out of reach. But like you said, the difference was they stuffed the run game, made Cairo one-dimensional, and when you do that, you make a team one-dimensional, you have the advantage. And Danny and them did a great job. I saw the excitement last night from the highlights. as well. So they'll be hosting, and a busy Friday night in Savannah, Georgia, because I'm sure you're going to get to the Christian game as well.
And here we're going. We're going out to Pula, where everything is cooler. So here we go. The Savannah Christian Raiders taking on the St. Anne Pacelli Vikings. Everybody played the Vikings last night.
Vikings.
So here we go. There we go. Here's my highlight. I got people. You got to understand. I don't know why this happens, but when I go to the highlights, Chad can attest to this. It cuts our mic off, so I got to figure out how to turn it on. And right there, I bumbled and stumbled. So here we go. Savannah Christian taking on St. Anne Pacelli. Once again, thank you to Frank Sulkowski and Amy Zimmer from The Frenzy for these highlights. Here we go. Turn it on. In this game after that, Savannah Christian, I think they're on a 7-game win streak. They're 6-1 at home. They get to play home again next week against Wesleyan. So what do you think there, Mr. AD, Mr. Coach, and Mr. High School Football Guru?
And so, we were watching that game as well. And like we talked about on Wednesday night with me, you, and the Q Sports guy, it was going to be tight early. And then we felt – I'm going to quote this. You can be. You can
I'll be the old cute sports guy, but I don't think so. I got a face for radio, but I'm not on the radio anymore.
And we talked about how we thought it'd be close early, and then the second half that the drive and everything might take care of Pacelli. But you watched the game, you saw the highlights. Hey, the fake field goal was phenomenal. The late hit right there, or the targeting they called, that's a very tough call in high school football, but it's probably the right call to do, which extended drive for them. But once again, you have a senior quarterback who can roll out of the pocket, is elusive as he is. And if you don't find 3 for Savannah Christian, if you don't find anybody else on the field, you better know where 3 is at all times. And he burnt Pacelli last night. And so Christian will host Wesleyan, who knocked them out last year. So, once again, they're two teams meeting in the same round as they did last year. Now, instead of at Wesleyan, Christian gets to be home in Puller Stadium.
Travis Jordan, like I said, who wrote the article for the Prep Sports Pro website, he said he spoke to Woodward afterwards, Baker. He's pumped up for this one. He wants a little revenge on this one. And, Chad, you can understand because Wesleyan and all those private schools up there in the ATL think that they're the only schools that play football.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different mentality. We were able to go up there a couple of years ago and knock them off. But you could tell, though, the mentality from them walking on the field is like, hey, they deserve to be there, which, hey, you better have that swag when you come to state playoff football. But Savannah team's been very fortunate. We got a win from them. It was a very back-and-forth game last year at Wesleyan, and Wesleyan struggled in that first round, just like last year. Wesleyan struggled in that first round and almost lost to FPD in overtime. They came back and started running the gauntlet until they hit Elka in the finals. So here they are. They struggled against Athens Christian, really came out this week, looked like a different Wesleyan football team. But listen, you watch those highlights, the fake punts, the fake field goal. Baker and those guys will be so coached up and ready to go and have every trick in the book ready for Puller Stadium to be rocking and rolling.
All right, we're going to go on the road. We got 2 teams that were also, other than Calvary, on the road. We got Islands for the first time ever in the state playoffs. They won the first round. Unbelievable comeback. Here we go. A tremendous comeback. The Sharks had to go from ocean to the country. They had to go from the eastern frontier to the western frontier after winning their first playoff game. Right there, it doesn't start good. Islands High School muffs the punt. Moments later, the Bearcats from Bainbridge didn't wait to get into the end zone, as it's quickly a 6-0 game. All right, so now in the second quarter, at the Bearcats up 12-0. And there's the Hawkins to Johnson combo again and again. The score, touchdown Bearcats. Islands would trail 29-0 at half and go on to lose 43-0. Coach Crinnup, the Sharks, nothing to be ashamed of. Great season. You had to go on the road. You had to, like I said, go to Bainbridge, Georgia, 30 minutes north of Tallahassee. They had a good season, Chad, and once again, you can't be upset with what went on.
No, I mean, the Islands has had a great season. Coaching his first year, have done a really good job under tremendous circumstances. You know how it is being the AD. It's been just a challenge for us all. But what a great job Islands High School. Got to host a first-round playoff game, then draw a tough draw here and going to Bainbridge. And what a great atmosphere. But, quarterback from Bainbridge, how quick the ball come out of his hands. They just seem to kill the slants, which slants probably the most difficult, route to defend in football. I mean, it's just so hard. And those guys look like, he had a gun on them, and they slung it around last night down there in Bainbridge. And what a great atmosphere. I'm interested to see when you talk to your students on Monday what the kids felt about the atmosphere of the stadium down there in Bainbridge, because that's what, John Nelson says, it's just one of the best places to be on a Friday night in the state of Georgia.
All right, last one. We got to go to 6A. We got to go build a hill. But Richmond Hill was on the road at Westlake. And Westlake, they averaged like 470 yards coming into this game. It seems like they got 500, 600 last night. So here we go. Up to Westlake. Richmond Hill at Westlake. Okay, so 6A Richmond Hill left the cozy confines of Wildcat Stadium. They scored first in this game. They took a 7-0 lead right there. Coleman, throws it into the end zone. And I lost my notes here. But anyway, they took a 7-0 lead, but that was going to be it. They had some great defense right there. They slowed down the Lions' rush game right away, but it wasn't going anywhere from there. They didn't have enough after that point. They tried, but Westlake was just so quick, so fast. The Lions go on to beat Richmond Hill. Wind up beating them 55-13. Richmond Hill scores the first 7 points, 55 unanswered points, and Matt Lazat got nothing to be ashamed of. The Wildcats finished 9-3 again. People know about Richmond Hill, and they'll bounce back. And as Matt Lazat said on Twitter, he's just going to tell his guys he loves them, and you know what? They got a full season in. We just got to come back ready next year. Yeah,
Matt and them have done a tremendous job. He's been a great guest for us since the beginning of, back when we started this throughout the spring and into summer and out in the fall. He's been tremendous, and they're doing a great job. A lot of times, Carl, how it is. It's to draw the bracket. You had matchups last night like Athens Academy, who was a top 4 team, playing against, Fellowship Christian in private. And, somebody's going home, and that's just the way it was. And you had 2 good teams, and obviously Westlake is super talented. John Nelson told us that. He said, man, these guys are putting up monster numbers. And even in 6A, the depth is different in the talent level. You get up here to the Metro Atlanta area with 4.5 million people. It's just a different animal altogether. But great job for Richmond Hill. Great season once again for those guys. And like Matt said, hey, to get in a full season of football has been tremendous.
All right. We're not going to go any further than here. I'll come back later on with all the highlights and all the scores and everything else that we talk about. We usually take 3 steps into the door when we start the show, when we take 3 steps out of the door to end the show. So we usually go high school, pro, college, and then pro. We'll do that at the end. Stay tuned because it's the big guy, Frank Sulkowski from WJCL, the sports director, the news director, the weatherman, the man that's always on the road, you name it. He doesn't have a twin, but it seems like he does. Him and Amy Zimmer do a great job. The next person up, the big guy, Frank Sulkowski. You're watching the Coach AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. All from where, Chad?
Center Sports Universe right there live at Coach's Corner.
And we got to thank our sponsors. We'll be back in 3 minutes with the big guy.
All time, that's Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From cutting and equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
You still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive, and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good morning, Savannah, and welcome back to the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, right here live at the center of the sports universe, Coach's Corner, all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Remember, we got 3 shows: Rubbin' and Grubbin' Wednesday night at 6, the Wednesday night live update, the Coach and AD, Karl DeMasi Sports Report, and back here on Saturday again. And then, of course, Hot Grits podcast with Travis Judon and Spencer Maddox, bringing you all the updated national news, local news, you name it. Those 2 young guys do a great job. Go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcast, I think it is. I don't know.
iTunes.
I don't know about this stuff. Anyway,
iTunes.
this guy's got to run. He's got to go do his other job. I mean, Chad, he's the sports director. He's the news anchor. I mean, one night, the other night, I think he sat in that seat for 2 hours. He also is the pregame side guy game at Georgia Southern football. I don't know how he does this. He's got 2 young girls at home. He's got a beautiful wife. I don't know how he finds his time. The man's got to have a double.
Well, he also is a traffic reporter. I called him yesterday because I heard that 16 was shut down about the same time we were trying to get out of Savannah. And I called the big guy. I said, "Hey, man, you know about this accident? Can you tell me where it's at?" He goes, "Well, I can give me a second, and I can find out." And he goes, "Hey, I would take 204 up Abercorn and go the back way like you're going to Bryan County. Get on 16 there." And we escaped Savannah without a flaw. Got there we need to go. He's like Batman, man. Just put the signal up in the air, and the guy's there.
Yeah, sad situation there. A young man from Statesboro worked for Kelly Loeffler, one of our interns. Just a sad story. 16 is not a nice place sometimes. It really isn't. But anyway, this guy is always a nice guy. He's the big guy. He's joining us now on the Coach's Corner hot seat. That's right, big guy. You're on the hot seat. From WJCL, weatherman, sportscaster, news anchor, traffic director, Frank, the big guy, Sulkowski. What's up, big guy?
Good morning, guys. And yeah, if I was that important, I sure would have a little bit better office than my garage on a Saturday morning. But here we are. I figure I've spent so much time in this garage between having a broken leg over the summer and then getting the COVID for a couple weeks. So I've spent a lot of time out here in the garage, and the girls like to sleep in on a Saturday morning. I'm up and about getting ready for Georgia Southern football and recapping a fun Friday night. I mean, heck, I'm thoroughly excited because next Friday night in Savannah, it's going to feel like a normal Friday night. We have so many teams that are going to be in action at home. This is actually going to be a historic Friday night for high school football in Savannah, just because we're going to have 3 teams at home in the 3rd round with trips to the semifinals on the line.
Well, before we get into those games, and we talked this early on, you talked to Chad and I about this. Did you ever think we'd get this far with football this year, Frank?
Oh, no.
High school football I'm talking about.
No. High school football, tiddlywinks, horseshoes, hand grenades. No. This goes to show about the leadership, and what the folks in the schools. I mean, Chad is certainly one of those. So are you, Coach. You guys are in the schools. You're with the kids. You're making sure that your student athletes are doing the right things during the week. What the job you guys have done and other leadership around not just the city of Savannah, but the state of Georgia has been amazing. I mean, we've had some situations here and there. That's to be expected. There have been some games that have been missed, but we got in an entire high school football season. I mean, some of it was a little bit different. Some was just district only. Some were region only. But here we are. I mean, we survived it. We're now into the Elite 8 of the state football playoffs, and what has been a normal postseason. I mean, this has been pretty normal. I am completely impressed with what I've seen. And again, we're in uncharted territory. None of us have been through this before. None of us may never go through this again. But what I have seen bodes well moving forward, because think about it, guys. If we can play high school sports during a pandemic and do it safely, giving these kids the opportunity to experience what they're experiencing and to be able to fulfill their passions of playing sports, that is the most rewarding thing. I know I spoke with Chad, when this pandemic first started, and I mean, he was heartbroken, about his student athletes missing out on some of the opportunities. When we saw spring kind of fold up shop and didn't get a chance to play baseball and track and field and tennis, I didn't think we would be able to survive a football season. I didn't think that we would be able to start a basketball season, but here we are, somewhat normal. I mean, yes, we're still having some situations here and there, but that's to be expected. I mean, even professional sport where they're in bubbles have had incidents that have come up. So you guys are doing it safely, but nothing has really changed. We're out there playing. I think if anything has come out of this is more of awareness for your surroundings, and there's nothing wrong with taking extra cautions to be safe. And so I think we've added some new layers of safety, which I think will stick around forever now. So yes, there's been some positives that have come out of this really negative situation, but I am thoroughly impressed and so excited that we can actually be here in early December, chill in the air, and have several teams just a couple games, a couple wins away from playing for state championships during a pandemic. It has really been a happy ending to what's been a wild story.
Yeah, I mean, Frank, I agree, and I give Dr. Hines from Georgia High School and his medical advisory board a ton of credit for setting out standards for us as athletic directors in schools on what that would look like. I think we know how it is, Frank. I mean, we're in Georgia where football is king, and I don't think there was any way that we were not going to play if they didn't think it was safe. And you look at Cal. I mean, look at Jay Garcia, one of the top recruits in the country, transfers from California to come to Georgia to play football. That shows you the power of this sport in the Southeast United States. I have a cousin who's offensive coordinator up in North Carolina. They're getting ready to get started to play football. And he watches us every week. He's like, oh, my gosh, I mean, if you guys can do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to administration and leadership, and we've been so blessed. You've seen that around the country, not just in high school sports, but in college sports. Yeah. Did you ever think there was a time that SEC wasn't going to play football? You just seen how important it is, but they also understand the importance to the student. And the student athletes, I think, were big, whether it's a high school level or college level, rising up, #let us play. They understand the consequences to it, but they've also invested their life to play a game they love. And, hey, if all the protocols are put in place to do it safely, they want to do it. So I agree with you there. And that was going to be my thing. You've walked it day in, day out at Georgia Southern. And, the SoCon, the Fun Belt has done an amazing job keeping it going every week.
It's simply amazing, guys. I don't know how we've done it. And once again, besides the players, besides the administration, besides the schools, you got to give the fans a lot of credit, because at first it was kind of scary, but they're wearing their masks. They're understanding that it's for the kids, and they're working out with everybody, which is something special. All right, big guy, you get down 17-3. The running back is running all over you from Cairo, the syrup makers. Danny Britt shuts the kid down to 2 yards in the second half. I mean, you were there. That's where you were hanging out. Give us your update or your input on it.
I've been around this state pretty much my entire life. I'm a South Georgia guy. I know.
But you were born in Jersey. You were born in Jersey, though.
Well, I mean, there's a sect that I'll claim that to. But for my good folks out in Stilson and Brooklyn, no, I've been in South Georgia all my life. But yes, I was born in Jersey, and was reminded that when we were stuck up in Newark, New Jersey for an extra night a couple of weeks back. To go down 17-3, what I saw from Benedictine is what Danny Britt brings to that program: calm. I mean, you were down 17-3. It was raining. It did not look promising, but you could tell that Benedictine knew what they needed to do. And I think early on, the offense got a glimpse of it, that they needed to go up tempo. They needed to speed things up. And the thing with Benedictine is the Cadets have more than enough offensive weapons, more than enough guys to get the ball into their hands. That shouldn't be a problem running tempo and having enough guys to shuffle in and through. And what I saw of the squad is how they feed off each other. Once the Benedictine offense scored a touchdown there in the second quarter to pull to within 17-10, what happens? That defense feeds off of it. You get a pick six. Next series, another interception that leads to a touchdown. And before you knew it, the Cadets had the lead, and they never trailed again. And that's just what good teams do. I mean, they find the kink in the armor. They go out there, they attack it, and then once they get it, they continue to work that game plan. It's the same thing. I saw that at Benedictine, but then going back to all the other highlights that we got and a recap of last night, what have we seen out of Calvary Day? Calvary Day, defensive unit. They're going to come up, they're going to pop you, they're going to hit you, and they're going to be a physical team. You want to get that physical game, you go against Calvary, you're going to get every bit of physical. And they're going to pound that ball, and then they're going to make a play or two here and there, and they're always going to be around. And that's what we saw last night. That's going to be the MO as we move forward in the playoffs. Savannah Christian, well, we've seen what Spencer Robichaux can do, and then I think the big thing for Savannah Christian last night was George Putch. I mean, the kid, somebody different steps up every week for them, and it seems like coach always finds another player who can come up and do that. And Savannah Christian, they can outscore you, they can get into a shootout, but they can get physical as well. So I think the three teams we still have left, it's going to be fun next Friday night. All three have proven that they are worthy of being in the final 8. These three have all proven to me that they're top 4 in the state. So anything can happen. It's going to be fun, but I think we saw in kind of a complete good summary last night of what those teams represent. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed with Calvary's win over in Macon. It's never easy to go into North Macon to beat a Stratford or an FPD. Those teams have been good for so long and are really good at home. But to go in there and be physical was fun. And again, I think we were on social media last night, and I saw some of the Calvary folks posting pictures of the offensive line. And when you're around it week in and week out, you don't realize it. But taking a look at that Calvary offensive line, I'm sorry, all classifications in this state, that is a good-looking offensive line. That is perhaps the best-looking offensive line in the state of Georgia, all classifications. I saw that picture last night, and I thought it was a college unit out there. I thought it was a picture snapped from the Appalachian State game last night or something, and I was like, oh, crap, that's Calvary Day. I mean, it's such a good unit with such a good mix of young and older guys that, that's what you need. I mean, they're learning the traditions. They're learning what it means to be an offensive lineman at Calvary Day. So it's fun. I'm really excited about next week.
Well, Frank, and I agree. I think if you look at
Frank, I just want to let you know, that's what we look like in our ute.
Oh, in our utes, right?
Yeah, our ute. That's how we look like in our ute. We look like those Calvary Day boys.
Yeah, you maybe. I've seen your I saw your mustache from East Rockaway. You look like Tom Selleck. Look at Magnum PI.
Go ahead, Chad.
Think, Frank, you brought up a great point. The calmness of the teams. Like last night, FPD comes down. Like every great program, they're going to put wrinkles in that you've not seen all year. Their quarterback ran more on the first drive last night than he's ran half the season. And that kind of caught us off guard. They come down, they score early. But you saw calm on the sideline. Like you say, you see from Danny Britt, you saw from Coach Stroud as well. It's like, hey, we got a plan. We're going to figure this out. And I tell you, the Calvary defense last night stopped FPD 4 times inside their red zone, from 15 in, just made big plays, tried to limit with field goals, and field goals were unsuccessful. The win was unbelievable last night. But it was just that calm and that senior leadership. Like you said, you got a Ryan Merklinger on the offensive line. You got Fuchsius Lewis on the D line. A freshman quarterback who's coming who made throws last night in the second half when he had to have a throw, to get us on the field. And then Greg Daniel runs for 257 yards on 31 carries, behind that line. And I saw him so fired up last night. I've never seen it out of him. I asked him after the game, I said, Greg, what was it? It's like, Coach, I didn't want to go home. When you're he goes, Coach, when you're a senior and you listen to what Coach Stroud says about, hey, this is your last moments. There's no guarantee of tomorrow. Because, Coach, it just hits a mark with all of us right now. And I think you're seeing that in all of us, Christian, BC, us, these seniors who had last spring taken away from them, has been given a gift every day we get to play right now during this pandemic, and they are fighting tooth and nail on every play and every practice. I think you went around, if you ask Danny and you ask Baker and you ask Stroud what practice has been like, it's been great. I think all these kids are just so excited to get to play one more day, one more time. Having the passion at practice had to be great to coach from a effort point of view, because they've all been so into it. It's not fun to coach in the COVID era, but it's fun to coach when your kids are so excited about coming out every day because it's a gift.
All right. You're watching the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live from Coach's Corner, the center of sports universe, part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. All right, big guy, we got one of the best basketball players waiting to come on here in the city, Emondre Bowles, so we got to make this quick. One more time, buddy. What's your take today?
Well, I tell you what, Georgia Southern, and we've been talking about this being in the COVID era and what we've been dealing with, and I got to give a shout out to the folks over at Georgia Southern. Got the word last night that once again Georgia Southern doesn't have a single player or staff member that's tested positive for COVID-19. Now, what makes these numbers so impressive is we're now 2 weeks post Georgia Southern going to West Point, being stuck in Newark, New Jersey for an extra night, sitting on airplanes, sitting on buses. These guys are doing it right. Georgia Southern is going to be one of the only teams in the country right now to play 12 games. I mean, they have Florida Atlantic today, Appalachian State next week, and then we'll wait because we got to see what the whole bowl game situation will be. But they've done it. The finish line is in sight, which is amazing. Today they get Florida Atlantic in a game that was supposed to be played earlier this season, but because of the pandemic, got postponed. And for the most part, we didn't think this game was going to be played ever. But here they are. They're going to play a game, and you got a good Owls team coming in from Florida. Georgia Southern has suffered back-to-back losses, close back-to-back losses. I mean, I should say every game Georgia Southern has played this year outside of one has been close, win or lose. With that said, I think there's magic in Statesboro, and I know they're a little banged up, but they're playing a Saturday night game, and the fan base is fired up. So is the team to be playing a Saturday night game in December in Statesboro. And I think that bodes well. I think that juice, that energy is going to carry over to the field. And I think there's a lot of young guys who started seeing some playing time against Georgia State last week. I think it all comes together, and Georgia Southern plays a much better game. We've seen the defense is going to keep you around. You just need your offense. Of course, they've made some changes, a new interim OC and Doug Roos, who was here during Willie Fritz time. I just think there's a lot of energy, and I think Georgia Southern goes out today and they win it. And I do think that those close games they played all season pays off once you get to this postseason. And that's what we're seeing at the high school level, and we will also see in the college level. So give me Georgia Southern by a touchdown and a half. Let's say 10-point win tonight over Florida Atlantic.
Chad?
No, man, hey, we appreciate you coming on, man. We know you got a lot to do, and thank you for your time this morning. We'll circle back. We'll see you next Friday night, manning the sidelines at the 3 big home games here in Savannah for quarterfinals and chance to go to the semis of the state.
That's right, guys. I appreciate everything you guys do. And, again, I want to congratulate you guys, all the administration, coaches, student-athletes, the parents. We're here. We're in December. We're playing high school sports, and just seeing the smiles on the kids' faces and them on social media, that is the reward. That's it. They're getting the chance to play. I'm getting a chance to do what I love. We're sitting on a Saturday morning talking. I know you guys love it, and that's what I love about you guys. You're so passionate about the local sports scene, and boy, we are having a fun time now. So I'm so blessed, so thankful. And anytime you guys need me, you know where to find me.
You got it, big guy.
Thanks,
Remember
Frank.
this one more time.
That's all we need. One more time, baby.
All right, have a good one. I'll talk to you.
All right, guys.
Hey, what can I tell you, Chad? The big guy. The man's all over the place. He loves the kids. You find a signing from Habersham School to St. Andrews to Calvary Day. The man is there to South Effingham to Effingham. He was out at Southeast Bullock. I mean, he does his job. He loves the kids in this area. He loves local sports, and that's what I love about him. Even though sometimes they tell me he looks like me, but he's better looking, I think. So we'll keep it at that.
Yeah, he's great, and it's always fun to get perspective from his view because they're covering it every day, and they covered sports for almost 100 days with no sports going on, and that was super difficult. And so I know how excited him and Amy are, and we're so grateful that they provide what they do for us on Saturday mornings because they're just as passionate about it as we are, and they provide that tool for us. So we're glad to do it. But we got a man sitting there who is a straight baller. Can't wait to talk to this young man. So let's get to commercial break so we can get back and get this guy on.
You're watching the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here from the center of the sports universe, Coach's Corner. It's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We'll be back in 3 minutes with the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week from Sol C. Johnson High School. Best nickname in the country, the Atom Smashers, Emondre Balls. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it.
All time, that's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
You still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body's part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive, and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good Saturday morning. Welcome back, Savannah, the Low Country, wherever you are. It's the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live from Coach's Corner, and it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. I know this young man's been waiting patiently. I know you got to get out of here at 10 o'clock, but I'm telling you, this is what it's all about. The kids. That's why we do this show. It's about the kids. I've been doing the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic after the week for 10 years. Since I've been on the radio, we've been doing the Prep Sports Report for 20 years. But I'm telling you right now, this young man is the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic this week. He was last year's co-Savannah Morning News Player of the Year. He was the Savannah Morning News Player of the Year. He was the co-Region Player of the Year. He leads the Adams Smashers to the Georgia Class A 3A final. And that's as a junior. He averaged 21.4 points a game, 8.1 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and 2 steals per game. Preseason first team, all-state here in Georgia. I got to coach against him as a freshman. It seems like he's been there forever. I got to coach against him this year because I'm back on the sideline. But, Chad, I mean, this is exciting. This is what we want to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a fantastic basketball player. And one of the best in the city, and one of the best in the state. So let's get this man in and let's get talking about his senior season. And then once again, we had the coach on last week. So let's get the player on. Let's talk about Adams Smasher basketball.
Okay, and joining us now on the Coach's Corner Internet Hot Seat Stream, the baller from South Sea Johnson High School. He's a senior now, Emondre Bowles. Emondre, thanks for being in. I know you're at practice, but once again, appreciate it.
How you doing?
We're doing good. How you doing?
Good. Just getting ready for practice.
The Adams Smashers. Okay, so all this hype, all this recognition, what does it mean to you to be playing basketball during this pandemic?
Can you repeat that, please?
What does it mean for you to be playing basketball during this COVID-19 pandemic?
it's a blessing for us to play in this COVID because there's a lot going on and a lot happening. So it's just a blessing for us to be on the court and still be able to play.
Mr. AD?
Emondre, y'all been super talented over there at Johnson. We got to talk to your head coach last week. His first year, not first year on the sidelines, but first year being the guy. So talk about what's like, what transition has been from to your new head basketball coach there. We got to talk to him last Saturday. He is super excited about you guys. So talk about your new head coach and what that means to the Atom Smashers.
It was really comfortable with me because he always was my trainer in the gym while working on my game. So it was really just the same, really. Just him coming in, being my head coach. It was really better for me.
So what's his expectations of you as a basketball player? What does he bring about you? You said he was your trainer, you know, while you're there, but what is it that he brings out of you as a basketball player that makes it so special?
He brings that fire out of me. He stays on me every practice about everything, just making sure I get better. He stays on me. That's what makes him a good coach to me.
All right, let's go to your basketball skills, okay? 22 points a game. What amazes me, you're a point guard or a shooting guard. You're averaging 8 rebounds a game. You got almost 5 assists a game. If I had to talk to Chuck Campbell, Coach Campbell, best basketball skill is?
I think my best basketball skill would be getting my teammates involved and being able to score and take over the game whenever I need to down the stretch.
That's very important for you as a leader, and the guy that has the ball in his hands a lot is to do that. An unselfish player gets back just as much as he gives, and honestly, you see that in your play. As you're going forward, what has recruiting been like for you during this pandemic? I know it's been challenging to the class of 21. How's recruiting going for you, and what does that look like coming up?
It's been a little rough. I had a couple schools reach out to me this summer, but it really wasn't is what I expected. But it should get better throughout the season.
And you're watching the coach.
Well, what's your thoughts or schools? My bad. What's your thoughts or schools that you've been looking at, talking to, or schools that you're really interested in?
Like what schools?
Yes. What schools?
Lander University, Catawba State, and that's about it. Just them two.
And you're watching the coach. Those are the main two right now?
Yes, sir.
And you're watching Coach and AD. We're at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week, live from Coach's Corner, talking to this week's Player of the Week, Emondre Bowles, senior from South Sea Johnson High School. I got a question for you. If you didn't play basketball, what sport would you love to play?
Football. I used to play football back in 6 and under, but I really didn't like it, so I moved to basketball. But I could play football, though.
Yeah, you got to love it.
Well, basketball has definitely worked out for you for sure. Talk about a little about your team this year at Johnson. Talk about how you guys are gelling and coming together, and what your expectations are as you guys continue to go throughout the season.
We have a real solid team. We got a lot of talented freshmen. No, a lot of talented sophomores as Tony, LP, and all of them. And we got a big Jaheim Robinson, Dylan Boone. We expect to go make a playoff run and potentially get to the state running, win it.
Well, you guys are always upbeat. You're always moving. You guys got a lot of intensity on the court. Coming into this season, I mean, you were Player of the Year last year. You're preseason All-State Player of the Year, or All-State Player team. Slow down, Coach. You've been nominated as an All-State Player, preseason All-State Player. As far as this year goes, do you have any goals? Team goals, personal goals?
Team goal, I just really want to get to the state and win it. That's all. That's the main goal, to get to the big one.
Well, Emondre, as we always talk to our student athletes, if you had to talk to a younger version of yourself, or you got freshmen there now, or underclassmen are coming into the Atom Smasher program, what advice would you give them to get where they need to go? What does that look like? We always talk about these seniors who've been down the road and everything. So what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself?
I just tell them, keep working and be coachable. Them the main two things to tell them. Just keep working and be coachable.
And, something outside of basketball that people don't know about Emondre Bowles. We know you're a heck of a basketball player. What's something that people don't know about you?
I like to play games all day. When I'm not working on nothing, I love playing games.
What's your favorite game?
Madden, football.
Football. Coach?
Emondre, like I said, so you're a gamer, all right? So who do you play with, and when you play with Madden, who's your team?
I play with a couple teams, the Packers, the Saints, and the Falcons.
And the
Packers,
Falcons.
Saints, and Falcons. So who's your biggest who's your biggest competition in Madden? Is it someone on the team that you guys go at? Who's your biggest competition in Madden?
Well, I beat our big man Jaheim 3 times, but I'll say probably Stephon, one of the sophomores.
All
Nice.
right. Last question for me, okay? I know a lot of freshmen don't know what they want to do when they get into college. You have any aspirations of what you want to do outside of sports when you get to college and after basketball is over?
I want to major in engineering. I want to be an engineer.
Nice.
Or a basketball coach.
A basketball coach.
Nice, man.
Impressive. Coach?
Hey, listen, man, you've done a great Emondre, you've done a great job. We appreciate you being on with us this morning. I know you got practice going on in the background, so we appreciate you hanging in. And we're going to follow you guys in the Atom Smasher program is one of the best, not just in Savannah, but around the state. And we know you guys will get there. Just keep working hard, like you say, that hard work. People just don't realize that, hey, it's just a lot of people have equal talent, but it's how much time and effort you put into it to cultivate that talent. And you've done that, and we're so excited you've been a Wetherington Chiropractic Athlete of the Week, and we look forward to following the Atom Smasher program throughout the season.
I appreciate you.
Great job, great career. I can't wait till we play against you guys. Just take it easy on me there, buddy, okay?
Got you, Coach.
Good job, Emondre. I'll talk to you later. Tell Coach Chuck we said hello. I mean, he's just whoops. I jumped on our guest. I got our guest in ready, but just a humble kid. I mean, Chad, he's so quiet. Half the time you don't even know he's around, whether he's playing the game or he's on the sideline. You don't even know the kid's there. He's just carries himself really well.
Well, that's what the great ones do, right, Karl? The ones that are really great and want to be great, they handle themselves in that way. The adage goes, if you're good, you don't have to promote yourself. Everybody else will talk about you. Everybody else will. I mean, they'll handle the PR part. And I'm excited for him. I know all these kids that get to play basketball right now is super exciting from that standpoint. They're getting to play. I'm sure his recruiting is going to pick up. I know that's hurt a lot of kids in this COVID-21 era. But whoever gets him, Lander's a great school now. Lander's a great basketball school. But whoever lands him is going to get a jewel of a player.
All right, well, great interview. Once again, I know you got to jump out of here. You got to go watch some football. Tell Hayes, to make sure he's on his game for us, okay?
We'll do. It's going to be a tough one up here, but we're going to have fun and get after it.
All right, quickly, flag football. Wednesday night, is that we got a time set or anything?
We're working on that. I need to be better as an AD and read the fine print because in flag, you host a pod of games. So it's us, Stockbridge, I think it's Lakeside and Carver of Columbus. They will all come to Savannah, kind of like volleyball was, pod of games. And then we're trying to get people to agree, hey, Georgia High School says if you want to go ahead and play the second round that night, you can. But I don't know if Carver already said they didn't really want to do that because, it's already going to be late. So probably because Calvary football won, that first game is not going to be till 6:30. But it's 40-minute games. It goes pretty fast, 2 20-minute halves. So we'll see. I'll get you an update. We'll have an update here by the end of the weekend as I be able to get a hold of the ADs and the coaches a little bit more.
Is it going to be definitely Wednesday? You don't have a date yet.
Yeah, definitely Wednesday at Specialty Sports Complex. Like I said, with football going on, usually they finish about 5:30 on Wednesday. So I think probably 6:15, 6:30 will be the earliest kickoff for Lady Cavs and Stockbridge and Lakeside and Carver Columbus. So we got to figure out who's going to play where.
All right, go enjoy that, kid. Watch some football. Once again, appreciate you. And I know you must have been in cloud nine last night with that big win and George Walton pulling off that upset.
Yeah, we were sitting there after we won. We were watching their game on NFHS as they finished up and got the win. So it's nice to be at home. Our head of school was in the press box with us, and he was like, whew, saves us about, the money it takes to travel across state. So he was happy about that. And we're just happy to be at home, especially for the seniors when they didn't get the landmark game. So at least we get to be home one more time at Specialty Sports Complex on the corner of 63rd and Paulson. So it'll be great.
Say hello to Melissa before you get out of here.
Melissa, appreciate you. Sorry I'm going to miss you, but we'll catch up another time. And Title IX, man, female athletics, girls soccer player, what can I tell you? Kicking for Vandy, that's awesome.
All right,
hey, that's going to keep coming. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, talk to you later, Chad.
Yep.
Chad Griffin, the AD, part of the coaching AD every Saturday morning right here at Coach's Corner. But he does a great job. He loves what he's doing. He's got his family. He's got young kids. I remember those days. They're over for me. He's up in the ATL. His son Hayes is a quarterback playing an all-star game. So he had to get out of here by 10 o'clock. But that leaves it again. We're reunited. It's the Coach and the Maikos. Coming up next, right after we thank our sponsor, it's the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here from the center of the sports universe, Coach's Corner, all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Stay, don't leave. 3 minutes. I got the Maikos back, and I'm excited.
All time, that's Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, Come see where everyone is a
Yo,
winner.
you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone, capiche? If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
I mean, it was a lot of fun for the year and a half that I think it was almost 18 months. Yeah, a year and a half. We did the Coach Maikos. I'm telling you right now, she's part of the sports world. College softball player, big time. Boston College, didn't play any Division II, Division III. She came back, went all over the place. Fargo, I think Tallahassee, and then Savannah, and then she had to take her show up to the ATL with the Markel Blunt, great guy. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner. Hot seat. She's always on the hot seat. Okay. And that's my girl, the Coach in Maikos, Melissa Maikos. Hey, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm glad I could get you back. And Melissa, when I saw that girl play the other day, I said, this is what Melissa is all about. I got to get her to come on and talk about females in sports. But once again, love seeing you. Tell Kel, yo, miss you guys. How's it going?
I can't hear you.
Mic's on. Check. 1, 2, 3, check.
Hold on. Let me just
Let me take this out. Check. 1, 2, 3, check. Can you hear me now? Yes, no?
Hold on, Coach. Hold on, Coach. Okay. I got
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Your internet froze.
Hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Delayed. Hold on.
Oh, it's delayed big time?
For some reason, it's delayed, but I can't.
Yeah, it's.
Hold on. Let me get some different headphones. Can you stand by? Maybe it's my iPod. Hold on.
Okay, I'll put that little.
My lovely background.
Like I told you, Melissa Maikos and I did a show for about a year and a half. The Coach in the Maikos, sports fanatic, played college softball. Of course, she's a Jersey girl, and she moved down here. She came to Savannah, I think, in 2007. Worked at WTOC. As you can see, she went to the Masters. She's been all over the place, and she just is a ball of fire. She loves what she does.
Gotcha.
We sound good now?
I can hear you. I think it was my technology, right? It was my my
AirPods.
Yeah, that I've noticed that in this program, because you're an internet geek and technology geek like I am. When people wear their AirPods, it always seems like there's a problem. I guess it doesn't work well with this platform.
I guess not, but hey, here I am with my old school purple headphones.
But anyway, like I was saying, when that girl played for Vanderbilt, Sarah Fuller, I said, this is the perfect opportunity to get back the girl that I know that loves sports, that's been trying to break the barrier, or was part of the female sportscasters who broke the barrier to get on TV. Hey, you watch ESPN now, we got female co-hosts. It's just something special, and I know it means a lot to you. But first of all, How's it going in the ATL?
I'm so excited because the AD is here. So I was thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's right around the corner. ATL is good. It's cold, but I also hear it's cold in Savannah too. So ATL is good. Hey man, we're just trucking along. I was listening to the big guy talk about the importance of being able to have high school football and sports being played, especially during a pandemic, because you and I know all too well about how important sports are to healing during tragedies. And I think one of the bright shining moments during this pandemic is how people have reacted during athletics, and the fact that we can still play sports, go to school. It's impressive. It's impressive. And we're trying to keep it together up here in the ATL. Hanging in there. We sure do miss the Savannah.
Well, I can tell you right now, talking to a lot of people, they miss you. They love what you're doing. And before we get into the topic, females in sports, though, hey, you got to watch WTOC, right?
Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. So last March, at the end of March, when we first went into lockdown and quarantine, our good friend Tim Guidera, who is amazing on WTOC, and he approached me and he said, hey, could you do a workout segment, home workout segment during our WTOC morning break broadcast? And I'm like, yeah, hello. And so he's like, 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it might be. And it literally started out with me doing air squats, picking up dog toys. So I just kind of created these workouts where anybody can do them from home. I didn't have any equipment. The only equipment I had, I think, was maybe an exercise ball that I had to dig out of my closet. I had, when I used to do the Insanity, the Asylum, all that, I had an agility ladder. So I was digging through my closet to find all these things that I could use in my home to work out with. And it kind of just spiraled from there. So now it's a weekly thing on WTOC's morning break on Wednesday. So it's been a lot of fun.
And you also had 4 dogs and a pig. You got involved too.
Yes. And that's the cool thing is, Pee-wee's about 60 pounds. Remy's about 40. Zoe's 7 pounds. Winnie's 60. Sony Michelle is 55 pounds. So I've got all my weights that I need right there.
So, all right. So big time in sports last weekend. Sarah Fuller became the first girl to play in a Division I game. But you know what? We got to go back to 2003. I don't know if you remember Catherine Ann Anita. Catherine Ann Anita, she kicked for New Mexico. She kicked the first field goal.
Right.
And 1A. So tell me about it. How did you feel about finally a female getting a big-time chance in Division I football?
You know what? I tell you what a tremendous athlete. Sony Michelle agrees. Hey, chill out. For you don't know. Oh my gosh, what a tremendous athlete. The fact that she is a soccer player. Sorry, my house is falling apart. The fact that she's a soccer player and just an overall athlete and can put on the pads and a helmet and go out there against guys. I mean, it's so impressive. And you know what? I see Karl all the time. I'm like, wait, that referee has a ponytail. She's coaching over there in the NFL and NBA and stuff. And so we don't hear about it as often as I would like. And I'm actually okay with that because every time we hear about it, that means it's not normal. And I want to become part of the norm where a Sarah Fuller isn't the lead story. It's just, this is what we do. This is what happens. But we need a starting point. And like you said, 2003, we have the first field goal in 1AA or 1A. And now we've got big-time Division I football. We've got a female athlete kicking a pooch kick, which, hello, that's not the easiest thing to do.
It's not easy to do.
It was really impressive, and what a harbinger for female athletes.
And you saw the little promo I put back there way back when in your WTOC days when you covered Georgia. Even now, female sportscasters are the lead host on major sports shows, ESPN, matter of fact, or they're on the talk show on CBS Sports or wherever they may be doing it. I mean, how does that make you feel? Because, I mean, you started out in this profession, and the girl that called the first college football game that was here, Green, right?
Yeah, Tiffany Green. I call her T-Pain. Oh my gosh, right. What an inspiring story for her. How far she's come with her broadcasting career. You know, when I was growing up, you know, I watched Hannah Storm, I watched Linda Cohn, I watched Susie Colbert, and these women were and Melissa Starks, who was on the sidelines for Monday Night Football. I watched these women growing up, and they're still in the business and looking good. That was the big thing with women broadcasters was, you know, once you hit a certain age, you don't look as cute anymore, so you got to go. But now, look at these women. We know our sports. So it doesn't matter what we look like. We can still deliver the sports, and we don't have to worry so much about being cute and our hair being perfect and, you know, throwing makeup on and stuff like that. We're on the sidelines. We're in the trenches with the athletes, with the coaches, and it's so impressive how far we've come. I think it's taken a little bit too long. I think we do have a long way to go, but it's pretty impressive to see, you know, some of these female broadcasters doing what they do. And my favorite thing is, you know, Beth Mowens, who calls men's basketball games and football games. And people think that just because you didn't play the sport, you don't have to play the sport to be able to understand the intricacies of the sport. And so that's just a testament to, you know, these all broadcasters. You know, how many male broadcasters have never played the sport, right? And those broadcasters sometimes are better than some of the broadcasters that have played sports.
Hey, you're watching the Coach and AD, who had to take off, but it's the Coach and Maikos right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live from the center of the sports universe, Coach's Corner, all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. All right, so my next question to you is, I mean, it's pretty impressive that we have females doing this. How would you motivate young female, not even athletes, but young females that want to get into this industry, not to give up hope like you do, and you have, and you're still doing it because now you've turned it to the fitness side with WTOC every Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, my only suggestion would be, we're not playing TV. You're not on TV. If you want to be on TV, go the acting route. Go, you know, the Broadway route. Don't come to journalism. That would be my first suggestion. And a lot of people get into it to be on TV. It is not like you're on TV for maybe 2 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever it might be. It's not about that. My suggestion would be a storyteller. Tell the stories like Candace. Oh my gosh. That brought so much joy to my world, is telling Candace Kiefer's story to your show and the sports report. Be a storyteller. It's not about you. It's about the people you cover. It's about getting the story out there, and that would be my suggestion. And you're not going to go right from college to the anchor desk. You're going to have to get coffee. You're going to have to know the intricacies of what it takes to get to that point. Now, does it happen? Absolutely. I've seen it happen. However, I started out at a station in Boston, literally running scripts and getting coffee. And I just, you know, I got down and dirty and did what I had to do on my days off, after work, before work, to do what I needed to do to learn the industry. And so when I finally got my opportunity, it was a blessing for me. It was a blessing that I got to move to North Dakota. Who would do that? Who would go from Boston, Massachusetts to Fargo, North Dakota, sight unseen? And on the flip side, who would take a chance on somebody who's faked her resume reel, right? I didn't have a real resume reel because I was working in a big market in Boston. And so, yes, I was going out there. Yes, I was talking to athletes and interviewing people to put together my reel, but I wasn't on camera. And so someone took a chance on me. I took a chance. Don't be afraid to be a risk taker. That's what it takes. Like, you, look at you with your passion. People don't need to look at me for motivation and inspiration. Just look at you. You're a teacher, you're a coach, you're a human, and you're so passionate about the Savannah sports scene that you've built this empire, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Savannah Prep Sports Report, and people love it. This is what we want, you know? So you can find inspiration anywhere. But again, my number one piece of advice would be just be you, and don't do it just to be on TV. Do it to tell the stories.
And I mean, you could vouch for this. It's not about the money and it's not about the hours.
No. It's so funny, Karl, because, you know, I've got my YouTube channel. I think I have like 60 subscribers. And my students are like, oh my God, Miss Maikos, you must be rich. I'm like, how am I? Well, you have a YouTube channel. I'm like, I have like 5 subscribers and that's my family. So the misconception about the fact that you do what you do where you make the money. It's like teaching. It's not about the money. It's the passion. You have to find something that you love doing every day for a certain amount of hours per day, and then some. You have to truly enjoy it. You're going to have your bad days, but some of those, like I said, that Candace Kiefer story just reinvigorated me with sports broadcasting. And you know, I'm looking for ways that I can continue to teach and do it on the side. I had the perfect storm with being able to work with you on ESPN Coastal, doing the Coach and Maikos show and teaching at the same time. But you know, I'm still looking for opportunities to keep my foot in the door because that's how much I love it.
Well, you know, I got another story coming up for you because I mean, you know me, you and I are humble, but you have such a talent with, of course, writing and with sports and with the kids. I mean, that's your calling, and I know you miss it, but you're a teacher too. So, which brings me to the second side. While you're watching the coach and the AD, while really the coach and Maikos back together again after a little time off, right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report from the Coach's Corner Sports Network. COVID-19. Did you ever think we would get this far with sports and with just going to school too?
100% no. I didn't think it would last this long. I didn't think that I didn't think we could play sports, and it baffled my mind that sports were going on, but yet as teachers we were still not face to face. I knew there was a way to do it. I knew that I wasn't smart enough to figure that out, and I'm so thankful just listening to you and Frank Sulkowski and the AD talk about all that went into it. And I think that is just a testament to what sports can do for somebody. And no, back in March, I told you I was watching ping pong. I was filming my dogs running, you know, in my backyard, and they're off pretending it was like the Kentucky Derby. I would watch anything, anytime, anywhere. And so, I mean, it was just amazing. NASCAR, look what COVID-19 has done for NASCAR. You know, you really put it on the national scene beyond what it already is. They gained some fans that would have never watched NASCAR. Golf, same thing. So these were some of the first sports. Korean baseball. I mean, I was watching that every morning when I would wake up.
That's what I was doing. I was watching it every morning because you had to get ready for your virtual classroom. And what, you know, being a sports fanatic like you, 5:30 in the morning, we got South Korea baseball.
And it was just so amazing. You know, people are saying, well, what are you going to cover? What are you going to cover? There's so much to cover. There's so many stories. You know, Shelly Smith. Oh my gosh. Shelly's another one of my idols. She's been at ESPN forever. Cancer survivor. She covers the West Coast, California. And she was on a radio show the other morning, and I was listening to her, and she was talking about, you know, all the stories that she's been able to tell through Zoom. Now, it's not the same effect, it's not the same impact, but I think with something like Zoom and with something like the platform that you're using, you can reach so many more people. Like, if I want to go interview somebody in California, I can. I can reach out to somebody. I've got something in the works for my Team Maikos page. You know, I'm big into this HotWorks. I know they don't have HotWorks in Savannah. No. They should, but I'm big into HotWorks. And one of the virtual instructors, I'm working on getting her on my Team Maikos podcast. And she's in Oklahoma. I wouldn't have been able to do that working for a local, right. You know, TV channel pre-pandemic. But now, post or during pandemic, I can make a phone call, get somebody on a Zoom, and bada bing, bada boom, as the coach would say.
Yeah, that's right. Bada bing, bada boom. And last but not least, we always did fitness first. How's that going with you? I mean, tell people you got a website, you got Instagram, you got Twitter, you got Facebook. Where can they find Fitness First with the Maikos?
So if you go to my YouTube channel, it's melissamaikos.com. I mean, real simple. I got a website. It's not the best, but it's one of those free websites that I just like to dabble in, and I throw up all my fun with fitness segments that I do for WTOC. It also has our fitness segments from, from when we were on ESPN together, and anybody that I interview from here on out goes on that. It'll go on my team. It'll transcend and cross over from Facebook to Instagram to my YouTube channel to my Facebook page. I mean, free advertising, right? But mostly the YouTube channel is where most of them are. But yeah.
I can't finish the segment out without asking about the guy that wore number 90. How's the Kel doing? How's Markel Blunt doing?
Oh my gosh, he's amazing. He is such a boss. He's such a beast. You know, through this pandemic, we've gone through so many ups and downs with the economy and stuff like that, and he just powers through everything. I mean, this guy's amazing, motivating people, doing what he needs to do, to get the job done, and being a father also to girls. And his eldest daughter is at Georgia State right now, and it's so nice to have her here, and it's really nice to see him in dad mode. It's a lot of fun, because when we were in Savannah, his girls are in Boston, but now having his eldest daughter Alexandria down here in Georgia, it's been super nice. So he's killing it, man. He's the best. I can't believe how fortunate and how lucky I am to have that man in my life, and to have the story that we have of our history. It makes me blush. Like every time I think about him, and every time I think about being in Boston College as freshmen and hanging out, and never ever even having this vision of where we are right now. So,
and I got the Photoshop. They were at a party together.
Yes,
Melissa was with a guy, and he was with a girl. So I got rid of those couples. I put them together. You gotta remember that one, right?
Yeah. That was a Boston College formal. We were actually in the hallway of Williams Hall freshman year, and I hung out with Markel and his crew, and he played football at BC, and that was the other kid that was in the picture. His name was Willie Wright, and Danielle Wood. She was my roommate, All-American lacrosse player roommate, and they were our friends. We were friends, and so we took a picture with like one of those old school cameras. Maybe it was a Polaroid. I don't know.
Polaroid. That's what I was going to say. Polaroid. Well, Melissa, I'm not just saying this because you're a good friend of mine, but you've been part of that female regime that has changed the concept or the notion that females do know their stuff about sports, and they are passionate about it. And it's not just about being on TV. It's knowing the games, knowing your stuff, knowing how to relay it to people, to tell the story. Great job. Check out Melissa's story on Candace Kiefer, okay, from Effingham, all-world cross-country runner, okay. She's from Effingham County High School. She's unbelievable. Melissa got to cover and do the story for me for the prepsportsreport.com. My real first passion, which started way back in 2000. So it's been going strong, and I ran with the ball. Markel gave me some advice. You gave me some advice. Hey, there's always something to talk about in the sports world, even in a pandemic.
And I want to shout out Candace. She's running this morning. I forget where her dad said she was running, but this girl doesn't stop. She doesn't stop. And I think the most impressive thing about Candace to me was her charity work. I mean, here this girl is a freshman in high school. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she put together a charity. She single-handedly reached out to athletic directors to try to figure out how to get equipment into people's hands who might not have the finances to do it. Not just equipment, Karl. She had the wherewithal to think like, hey, after games, we stop and get something to eat. The school isn't paid for that. We have to pay for that. The kids have to pay for that. And so the fund that she set up, oh my gosh, it's absolutely amazing it's anonymous. Like kids don't even have to worry about, I'm dipping into that fund because I can't afford to, get a meal after a game or after a track meet. And I just thought that was just fantastic. I mean, what a tremendous young lady.
Now you said you were going to podcast that interview because you interviewed her. Did you post it?
No, not yet. I will post it this weekend. It'll be on my melissamaikos.com website.
Well,
And
send me
I'll
the
share
link
it.
so I
Yeah,
can
I'll share it.
Yeah, share it so I can post it on the Prep Sports Report and we can tie it together. And it's just a great story how this young girl, junior in high school, is asking people to help her raise funds to help students that can't afford the equipment. Just a great story.
Yeah, and the cool thing, Carl, is I know you got to go, but the cool thing is with a podcast is you don't have to edit it. Like you can just let it go. There's so much more to Candace than what was in that article. That
Right.
It was, when you you read an article or you're on TV and you've got to do a story. The story is about 1:30, if you can believe that.
Right.
And an article 250 words, 500 words. But on a podcast, you can just listen to it. You can fast forward, you can rewind, and so there's so much more to her about her college choice and where she wants to go to college. This is a girl that you've got Georgia Tech written on you. She wanted to go to Georgia Tech and run track.
Yep.
Guess why she doesn't want to go to Georgia Tech? Academics. They don't have her major, so now she's looking at Clemson. So here we've got the epitome of student athletes in Candace Kiefer. And that's just, this girl could probably go wherever she wants to go, but she's looking long-term for her academics. And so she's looking at Clemson, and I think that would be awesome.
No, it would be.
Talk about a role model, right?
Tell the Kel. Where's the Kel?
I think he's still sleeping.
Okay. He's allowed to do that. Tell the Kel that I said hello. Hey, I really mean this. I miss you guys. I love you guys. When you're down here in the SAV, let me know. We can get together, and I will talk to you in the next couple of days with your next assignment for the Prep Sports Report.
Yay! Thanks, Carl. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, have fun.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
I'll talk to you before then.
Okay.
I'll send you a couple emojis that you taught me how to use.
You got it.
All right. What more can I say about the Maikos? We hit it off. I was looking for a co-host for my radio show, and I said, this girl is well-known in Savannah. I got to get her on. And then she, met Markel. They decided to move to Atlanta for his job, and she's got family up there. Just a great move for her and Markel. So once again, the Maikos, Melissa Maikos. Go to the prepsportsreport.com. Check out our article on Candace Kiefer from Effingham County High School. Hey, we got a surprise guest. Usually I do 3 out the door with the AD, but the AD's not here. I'm going to bring on my man who's been helping me out a lot with the prepsportsreport.com, the sports reporter, Travis Jordan. He's going to be talking about the Hot Grits podcast and about his preview on hoops and the football scene. He covered the Savannah Christian game last night. Stay tuned because he's up next. You're watching the Coach and AD right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, and it's always a lot of fun. I'll be back in 3 minutes because we got to thank the people who support us.
All time, that's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From cutting and equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, Come see where everyone is a
Yo,
winner.
you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. It's Saturday morning. We're live from Coach's Corner on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Remember, we got 3 shows on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Wednesday night, it kicks off at 6 o'clock with Rubbin' and Grubbin', Dan Foles, Brandon Baines, Lawrence Bennett, part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. They're talking all NASCAR. See, they rub talking about NASCAR, and then they grub from John Henderson and Adele Henderson from Coach's Corner to get food every night on the show. The Coach and AD got to learn how to do this, okay? Because then we follow at 7 o'clock with Wednesday Night Live, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Coach and AD. We talk about what happened from Saturday to Wednesday night. And then on Saturday morning, it's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here from Coach's Corner. Saturday morning live. It's always a lot of fun. And then the third show is a podcast, okay? Travis Jadon, Spencer Maddox, 2 local young guys, one from Calvary, one from Country Day, decided to do a podcast. So, and it's called Hot Grits Podcast. They cover everything nationally, locally. It's a little adultish. I don't know if that's a word, but be prepared because they are a lot of fun. They're like the Herb brothers who did our other show. We did have 4 shows, the 19th hole. Okay, they recap the Masters tournament every round, Thursday through Sunday. Great show. Go check it out on Facebook. Go to Rubbin' and Grubbin' on YouTube. You can see their 4 shows. Sean and Brett Herb did a great job. It was a great show. While I'm waiting for Travis to come on, we usually do this in the 3 Out the Door segment, local sports. Remember, last night was high school playoffs. We had 5 teams in the second round of the Georgia High School State playoffs. 3 are moving on. In Class A, Savannah Christian beat St. Anne Pacelli, 37-24. Savannah Christian will host Wesleyan next Friday night at Pooler. Everything's cool in Pooler. Calvary comes back and beats First Presbyterian 14-7. They were down 7-0. They will host George Walton, who knocked off a number 2 seed. So Calvary gets to hold. That'll be at the corner of 63rd and Paulson at the Specialty Sports Complex, against Joe Walton. Benedictine down 17-3, comes back and beats Cairo 45-23. BC will host Riverdale at Memorial Stadium next Friday night. The 2 teams that lost, Bainbridge beat Islands 43-0, and Westlake beat Richmond Hill in 6-8, 55-7. Okay, he's ready to go. I'll come back and give you the rest before I end the show, but he's the other part of the Coaches Sports Network. He's the third wheel, the third show. He's doing it with Spencer Maddox, Hot Grits Podcast. He's also helping me out a lot. And if you haven't checked out the Prep Sports Report website, please go do so because this young man has a gift to write. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner hot seat, one of the Coach's Corner, I guess you would say celebrities, on internet personalities, Travis Jadon. Travis, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Karl, did you just introduce me as a celebrity?
On-air internet celebrity with Karl DeMasi, Chad Griffin, Brandon Baines, Dan Foles. Can't forget about the guy behind the scenes, Lawrence Bennett, and of course your buddy Spencer Maddox. I mean, you guys are making a hit with that Hot Grit Podcast show.
You did that in the right order too. Just leave Spencer Maddox at the bottom of it, and you got the right order.
Hey, you're the journalist here. You're the man in the communications. Is there a word adultish?
Yes.
Okay, I got it right. Well, your show is rated adultish. That's what I just told everybody.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I think that's more than accurate. Yeah. Well, we have a lot of fun on it, Carl, and we do a lot of different things. The Coach's Corner, and you guys allow us to do so. NASCAR for Rubbin' and Grubbin', and local sports. Knowledge from you guys, and then kind of everything in between the line or outside the lines and in between with us on the Hot Grits podcast.
How come Spencer's not out there playing golf with you? I know. How come Spencer's not with you?
Well, he's on a corporate retreat right now, the podcast corporate retreat in Orlando by himself.
All right. So tell people about Hot Grits podcast, how you came about it, and why it's going so well.
Well, it is going well for us so far, Carl, but I think it's just only the beginning of what we want it to be. We're 38 episodes in, and right now we're trying to convince more and more people to let us interview them and to be guests on the show, even outside of sports, just people related to Savannah, and people that I think people in Savannah would be interested to hear what they have to say. But honestly, as I've told you before, it honestly started just as something to kill time in between jobs, and then the pandemic hit, and we realized that we had to have something to talk about every week. And so we did, and now that sports are back, it's easy for us to fill an hour of show, and it's awesome because it's easy to find. Anyone can find it on Google Podcasts, Apple, iTunes, Spotify. You can try SoundCloud, TuneIn, all those stuff. People can find them, and I think if they're listening or watching this show, then they would like a show like the Hot Grits podcast.
Okay, and you didn't look at my tweet yet. You asked me about your logo. I love the logo, but what you need to do is put a basketball or a ball, a sports equipment behind the Hot Grits bowl, buddy. That's what you got to do. Yeah, I think a lot of people have said that when they see it, they think of breakfast, which would make sense because our logo has a bowl of grits in it. So I guess that means the logo is working to that end. But yeah, I think when we rebrand, Carl, at some point that we will add some sort of soccer ball or basketball or football or something like that. You don't have to rebrand. You just got to get a ball behind that bowl of grits. And I'm telling you right now, that'll be that'll be near and dear to my heart. You got a sports basketball, or you got a ball, and you got a food with it. What more you want? Frank Sulkowski and Chad Griffin, I would love that. Well, see, that's what I mean, though. We gotta level up before we can get big time stars like you, Chad, and Frank on our show. So, all right, you've been helping me out a lot. I've been helping you a lot too, because we're both working hand in hand. We're trying, and of course, Stephen Weeks. We're trying to get the Prep Sports Report website off the ground. I mean, last night you had a great game at Savannah Christian. You've been covering games for me. Go to the PrepSportsReport.com, and you can see Travis's work, because he's not just a celebrity on the podcast. He also has a gift to write and tell a story. So go check it out. Well, tell us about Savannah Christian last night. Listen. When you go to games like these high school football games, there are a lot of kind of high school football games that are not fun and not easy to write, and really, if we're all being honest, probably not worthy of being written. This time of year, those games never happen, and especially at Savannah Christian. So last night was sort of back and forth early, Carl. It was 17-17 at one point late in the first quarter. And I thought everyone in the stadium probably would have agreed with me. 17-17, Savannah Christian was sort of dominating the game and could have been winning. Everyone knew they were playing better. And it felt like that they might let one slip away. With a minute left in the first half, they scored a touchdown pass from Spencer Robichaux to George Futch. And that was a common theme all night. They took the 24-17 halftime lead, Carl, and they never looked back. They gave up a garbage time touchdown with like 10 seconds to go. And I had my story for you all written out. And the first sentence was the Raider defense shut out the Viking offense in the second half. Closed my laptop, and I was on, and then they scored the final touchdown. So that all had to be rewritten. But they're on to Wesleyan next week, Carl. And like Frank said earlier in your show, I think historical is the right word for it next week. And three different
Well, I guess I'll let you go ahead and talk, but it's an interesting trio of teams when you start to compare BC, Calvary, and Christian and how they got there.
Well, lately in the world of high school football here in Savannah, Georgia, BC Calvary and Savannah Christian have been the staple, the foundation of our high school football teams. And now you're throwing in Jenkins made a big run. Island's breaking the barrier. I mean, New Hampstead now coming into the fold. I don't mean to leave anybody out. We go to the small schools, Bethesda and Memorial Day School winning or getting to championships. St. Andrews. So football has grown. But if you ask me, those are the three staples that have been football in Savannah for the last 10, 15 years.
Well, Carl, actually, I was thinking about that before you and I started talking. Those three. So then you start thinking, well, what on earth would they have in common? Because one has a freshman quarterback, one has a junior, one has a senior. One team prides itself on offense, the other on defense. What do they have in common? Well, they have stability at the coaching staff.
That's exactly it. You got three coaches that have been there and are staying there.
And look, that is not to say that a new coach is not the right choice and cannot win right away. After all, just look at Deshaun Prenta at Islands. That is not to say that at all. But this time of year, you start to see the teams that advance are the teams that have the coaches that have been there for a while, and they don't have to worry about that. What Mark Stroud has done at Calvary with the freshman quarterback is really, really something. And I think if you look at Baker Woodward and Spencer Robichaux, that's kind of the blueprint for what I think Stroud and Merklinger are hoping to accomplish over their 4 years.
Well, if you notice the tendency, okay, with Savannah Christian and Calvary, okay, this is Mark Stroud's second freshman starting quarterback. Thomas Carver didn't start right away, but he finished starting in his freshman year. So Stroud knows football. I mean, a man that has won over 224 games, you got to give him credit. Baker Woodward, okay, who came from BC, who learned under Danny Britt on how to coach a team, okay, came over and has grown with Spencer Robichaux, okay? They've both grown together, and they both have developed or flourished that offense into their own. Now, that's what Baker Woodward's going to have to do with the next quarterback he gets. We'll see if he can do what Mark Stroud has done with Carver and now Merklinger. Danny Britt, he's just a player's coach. He's just a high school player's coach. He'll get on your case when you're doing wrong, but he'll love you to death. And he's cool and he's calm and collective outside. But I'm telling you right now, that man has a lot of things going on inside of him that we don't know, because the way his personality is, his persona makes him seem like, this guy's cool, calm, and collective. But there's a lot going into it that we need to know more about Danny Britt. But he's not going to let us know, because you don't show that as a defensive coach.
Yeah, well, you don't show it easily. I guess you could ask some of the right questions, hopefully, and then just keep asking them over and over again. That's usually what I do with Danny, and then he usually says no over and over again. It doesn't. But at least I can bug him a little bit. But yeah, you're right, Carl. I think, well, you know this better than anyone, that coaches have a reason sort of for everything. Even if they say they don't have a reason, there's a reason for them not having a reason. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for this Friday night, and I can't wait to see what happens.
How are you going to cover 3 games?
That's an interesting. I don't know. I guess we'll have to rent a jet, maybe. Is that in the budget?
Hey, you could probably learn from Frank Sulkowski how he does it so quick. But anyway, all right, quick.
I think I know how Frank can jet around.
I know. You're out there on the golf course. I got to wrap this up here soon. Tell me what it's been like writing for the Prep Sports Report now that you're back in there writing your stories, because it seems like you're a natural at it.
Well, I love it, Carl. I'm grateful that you guys gave me the opportunity. And the best part about it for me is that I get to just witness all these different people, games, events, storylines, and then that I'm the one that gets to sort of be the middleman and put it into words. I love telling stories, and I think that people like reading stories and hearing about stories about interesting people. And usually what I try to do in my stories is what I've started to try to do in our podcast when we're interviewing people, and that is sort of nudge them, lead them in the right direction, and then let them do the rest. Because a reader doesn't want you to tell them every single play in order what happened. They want to know, why the game ended up how it was and why that matters. And so that's what I try to get across. These players make it pretty easy, though.
Yeah, they do. They really do. All right. Last, before we get out of here, so you can go hit some balls, probably to the left or right, never straight. But quickly.
Well, I'll be glad to show you my opening tee shot if you want.
Let's go right away. Plug the Hot Grid podcast. Comes out once a week, where they can find it, where they can listen to it. And once again, go to the Prep Sports Report website, prepsportsreport.com, to check out Travis quickly.
Yeah, so they can find the Hot Grids podcast on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, and then on Twitter at Podcast Grits. The email is hotgritspod@gmail.com, and then on Instagram, The Hot Grits. We have a lot of stuff coming up, including a bowl game group, so a bowl pick'em group that's free to enter, and there's a cash prize. So it's free to enter, no risk at all, and there's a cash prize. So check out our Twitter or Instagram, or email us for more information on that, or you could go to johncarrealty.com. Thank you, Carl.
Before you go, remember, you had the real Coach DeMasi on a couple of weeks ago, but you haven't had the old guy on yet. I'm still going to hold you to it.
Well, hey, we got special plans for you, Carl. I hope you're ready.
Okay. Well, when it comes from a Calvary and a Savannah Christian, Savannah Country Day kid, I got to worry about it.
No, you don't have to worry too much.
All right. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the day. And thanks for what you do. And thanks for getting the news out there about our local kids.
Hey, thanks, Carl.
Hey, have fun.
Bye.
You know, I'm glad I got to work with Travis Jadon, Stephen Elmo Weeks. If you're listening, you too, for helping me get the Prep Sports Report out of the doldrums, out of the just hanging out there, nothing going on. I'm learning a lot from these two guys about what needs to be said, what content needs to get out there. I really appreciate what they do. And once again, Travis Jadon, Spencer Maddox, okay, part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network, Hot Grits podcast. Every Thursday comes out. They're up to episode 38. Check it out. iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I don't know, but you'll find. Just look up Hot Grids podcast. It'll come right up. All right, back to the scoreboard so we can get out of here. I got to give everybody their due. Like I said, Savannah Christian beat. We'll start off with step number 1. 3 steps out the door. Savannah Christian beat St. Anne Pacelli 37-24. Savannah Christian has won 7 straight, 6-1 at home. They'll host Wesleyan in Savannah this year instead of going up there. Coach Woodward has a bone to pick with those guys. Okay, Spencer Robichaud, senior now, 4 touchdown passes. George Futch, 3 touchdown catches. Savannah Christian outscored Pacelli 20-7 in the last 25 minutes of the game. So what more do I want to tell you? Calvary Day School beat First Presbyterian 14-7. Highlight of the game, down 7-0. They came back, but Greg Daniel, 31 carries, 257 yards, a touchdown, and he played defense. You want to talk about Iron Man football? Greg Daniel from Calvary Day School. Okay, Juwan Johnson, 2 minutes to go in the game, picks it off to end that game to clinch it for the Cavaliers. They'll host George Walton at Calvary, Specialty Sports Complex, on Friday night. They're also holding the first round of the girls flag football. That's right, Georgia High School Association has girls flag football. They'll be hosting the first round Wednesday night at Specialty Sports Complex at 6:30. Okay. Class 4A, Benedictine, 45, K Road 23. BC hosts Riverdale. Okay, next Friday night at Memorial Stadium. Let's see, Gurna, 16 for 26. Okay, Gurna Holden. Okay, Holden Gurna. Okay, 16 for 26, 269 yards. In the second half, the young man was 9 for 11 for 181 yards. He hooked up with Trent Broadnecks, not Trey. Trey's the basketball player at Navy. Trent Broadnecks, okay, 7 catches, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. One was an 80-yard scamper over the middle, and he walked the last 3 yards into the end zone. Pretty good stuff. Okay, Justin Thomas in the backfield, 13 carries, 67 yards, 4 receptions, 55 yards, 26 touchdowns. And Bryce Paskey, the defensive hog of Benedictine Cadet football, defensive lineman, 15-yard pick 6. You got to love it. That changed the game. This is the 6th time in Danny Brett's 10 years that they're in the state quarterfinals, okay, with 2 state championships. And the key was they shut down Cairo's running back, Solomon. In the first half, that kid had 132 yards. In the second half, Danny Britt with his defensive wizardries. Irk Russell would love this guy because he is a former Georgia Southern football player. 2 yards in the second half. All right. Islands, great season. Second round of the playoffs. Had to go out to Bainbridge, Georgia. Lost 43-0, but great job, Coach Printup. Great job, Island Sharks. You made us proud. Keep it going. The program's on the rise, and I love being part of it. Okay. Then we go to Richmond Hill. Matt Lazat, you've done a great job with that program. People know who Richmond Hill high school football is. Tough one. You went out to play Westlake last night, 55-7. You'll be back 9-3 on the season. All right. High school basketball, I'm not going to go all over the scores, but if you want to catch a game today, okay, Jenkins is at Calvary. Girls 1 o'clock, boys 2:30. Upson Lee is at Richmond Hill at 2:30. Camden County takes on Richmond Hill girls at 5:30. All right. Savannah Christian is at Frederica at 3:30. South Effingham's at May River at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Groves at Woodville Tompkins, 3 o'clock and 4:30. St. Vincent's at Windsor Forest, 5 o'clock. Bethesda at Savannah High at 5:30. Effingham at Swainsboro, 4 and 5:30. Memorial Day at Coastal Homeschool at 7 p.m. And Bryan County is at Southeast Bullock at 5:30 and 7. All right, step 2, college, okay? Today's slate, no football for the Bulldogs. Georgia is not playing today. Vanderbilt, COVID-19. That's another game that was canceled on the Dogs, so we'll see what happens with that. Georgia Tech at North Carolina at 4 o'clock. Savannah, Georgia, okay? If I forget somebody, I apologize. Please call me and tell me. Please text me or text me right away on my phone, 912-507-9158. Okay, for Georgia Tech, you got Gavin Stewart from Benedictine, okay? You got, I'm going to forget his name. Okay. Oh, Nate Moon from Savannah Christian. Okay. Daquan Dowse from Calvary. But this next guy was the ACC Offensive Lineman of the Week. He did it at Savannah Christian. He's doing it now, Georgia Tech. He's got one more year to go. I'm going to say it right now. We might see this guy in a pro. Zach Queenie from Savannah Christian. So that'd be on the Georgia Tech side at 4 o'clock. On the North Carolina State, okay, you have another Savannah Christian lineman, Dylan McMahon, starting at guard. Tyrone Riley from Calvary's out because he's injured. And then we have Mr. Harris from Benedictine in the defensive backfield, okay? So we got 3 kids on the North Carolina State side. Don't forget, Kyle Hockman's son is the starting quarterback at North Carolina State. So we got a lot of Savannah flavor in that game today. 4 o'clock on TV, Georgia Tech at North Carolina. Florida Atlantic comes to the prettiest little stadium in the United States, Georgia Southern. 6 p.m., big guy Frank Sulkowski, pregame show at 4 o'clock on Learfield Sports Network. Look it up. You can get it on TuneIn. Okay. Step 3, professionals, pro football. Falcons are 4-7 now. Okay. Since they got rid of Mr. Head coach. Okay. They beat the Raiders last week 43-6 without Gurley and without Julio Jones. Unbelievable. Okay. Jones returned, the defensive back, Jones returned an interception, 67 yards for a touchdown. That was probably the turning point. Matty Ice Ryan threw a pair of short scoring passes. The Falcons thoroughly dominated the Raiders. Commitment to excellence, not last Sunday. The Falcons forced 5 turnovers, 4 of them by Derek Carr, okay, and finished with the biggest win since a 56-14 rout of Tampa Bay in 2014. Tomorrow, with a NOLA Breeless Saints team, New Orleans Saints, no Drew Brees, okay? The Falcons in the ATL in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 1 p.m. Golf, the Savannah Golf Championship on the Corn Ferry Tournament, 5-year deal with the Landings. You got to love it, okay? The Savannah Golf Championship recently announced a 5-year partnership with the Landings Club for the annual tournament to serve as an official presenting sponsor. The event, which will formally be renamed the Savannah Golf Championship at the Landings Club, returns to the Landings, Deer Creek Golf Course, the week of March 22nd to March 28th, 2021. PGA, Brian Golf was back at it again. Well, he is back at it again. He made the cut at the Maikos Golf Classic in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Okay? He made the cut. He's tied for 34th at 3 under, but he's 10 strokes off the lead. Okay? FedEx Cup, he's ranked 61st. World ranking. He's ranked 92nd. Brian Harmon, Savannah Christian. Okay, Mark Silva's Savannah Country Day. Savannah Christian, former golfer and UGA golfer. Okay, PGA Champions Tour. Gene Sowers, our man, will return next week on the Seniors Tour. Gene Sowers out of Savannah, Georgia. Well, that's a lot to cover. It's been a long show, almost 2 hours like I used to do on the Ray Didio, but I'm back again. We'll be back Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Live, and I'm going to have a special one for you. I think I'll be broadcasting the flag football game for Calvary on the Coach's Corner Facebook network, on the Karl DeMasi Facebook page, on Twitter Live, okay, and, of course, right here on the platform I'm using, StreamYard. Gotta have a lot of fun. All right, so remember, I do this all the time. Remember, stop using my hands. Remember, every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. until whenever, all right, right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report and the Coach's Corner Facebook page will be live, and on Twitter Live at KD Sports Report, and on YouTube. Hey, please, people, help me out. Okay, I'm asking you, help me out. Go to YouTube, type in Karl DeMasi Sports Report, and be a subscriber, okay? I like to grow that channel. And yes, I got to start cutting the shows up. I know they're long. I got to start cutting up in little increments every segment. So if you just want to watch one person, that's the way I got to do it. But go subscribe. Help the coach out. Let me get a following, okay? It's on the YouTube channel, YouTube.com. Go to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report and subscribe and give me a like. Hit the little bell so anytime I come on, you'll get notified, okay? Remember, got to thank our presenting sponsor, Coach's Corner. John Henderson, Dell Henderson, thank you for doing this. It's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Rubbin' and Grubbin' Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock. Podcast, Hot Grid Podcast, and, of course, the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Remember, it's all sports, all music, all the time. There's no music in the Soundgarden this weekend, but there are a gazillion TVs that you can watch any football game or any sporting event you want to watch. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever you may be doing. I mean that. Whatever you may be doing, always hit it out of the park. Until I talk to you on Wednesday night, may be your best week ever. God bless. Wear your mask. Wash those hands. Social distance. It's getting cold out. COVID-19's on the rise. Even though we got a vaccine coming pretty soon, we got to take care of each other. Okay? Talk to you later. God bless.